Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because, wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Hello and welcome to Ask Margaret from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood, answering your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. Today's question comes from Amy in our Facebook group, and she says, moms with multiple children, how do you handle the anxiety, guilt, and disappointment when kids' activities overlap? And I'm not talking about missing one of the 25 fourth grade basketball games. I mean the once a year or even once every couple of years important events. How do you decide which child's event is more important to go to? How do moms do this without feeling absolutely guilt-ridden and sad? It's an impossible situation to be in, and I'm feeling paralyzed. Help! It's also hard because both kids want to be there for the other, and they feel like they would be missing the big event. I wanted to answer this question because I have just recently been in this situation myself. I have 3 kids, and so often the winter concert will fall on the same night as the cross-country dinner, or, the school play will fall on a time where maybe my husband or myself is out of town. And so I think the first thing to do about this is to take a really deep breath, because it can feel very overwhelming and like, oh my gosh, this is some huge, unbelievable choice that I have to make between this and that, and it's going to be really scarring for the kids, and that I somehow preferred one over the other. I think the most important step in this process is to give voice to it. So I recently had a situation where it was one of the winter concerts, and my husband and I both had commitments for the night that we could not get out of. Partly our fault, because honestly, we had not put the winter concert in the calendar when we made travel and other commitments that we could then not change. And I called my child in, whose concert it was, and I said, listen, bad news. Dad and I are both out of town the night of your concert. And I knew that was going to be disappointing, so I had a backup plan ready to go, which was your cousin, my kids have older cousins, is going to come up for the day from New York City and come and take pictures for us and bring your siblings. And it ended up being really exciting for my kid because someone who didn't usually get to see them perform was going to be there, and it worked out really well. Now, it's not always going to be the fairy tale version where and everybody is happy ever after, that you're missing their thing and going to someone else's thing. But I still think that the most important thing to do about balancing everybody's activities is to talk about it as a group. So we have child A who has this concert, and we have child B who has this big game, and we can't go to both. Maybe dad goes to one game, mom comes to the concert. Or maybe dad and mom both go to one and grandma goes to another. Or maybe dad and mom both go to this big event for this one kid. Nobody goes to the event for the other kid. But the next time that kid has a big event, we're going to make sure that we're the ones who go there. This is a good place for whiteboarding and really putting stuff in notes and writing, because I think the fear is the sensation that nobody cared enough to show up. That is the experience that you don't want to have. And that is the place we want to attack it. So like we care very much about all of these activities. And so we're going to make sure that we have a plan going into it. And we're going to discuss that as a family. You can do this with 3-year-olds. This can start really, really early. Then the other option is always, we didn't get to see your recital because we were at this graduation. Always check, by the way, if it's possible for you to attend a final dress rehearsal or a final recital rehearsal, because that's another thing that we've definitely had to do. We can't be there for the actual 4th grade school play. And so we will come to the dress rehearsal. Maybe not totally optimal, but another good choice. Another thing that we've had to do with my kids when they had conflicting events is that we get a tape of it. And then we make a big night around that tape. So our school will put stuff on a private YouTube channel. We gather as a family, we get taken food, we make a big deal of it, and it's this person's night. Again, what is being craved here is the sensation of loving attention towards the child's efforts, not necessarily did you pass the test of were you exactly available at the right time. And so I think this is a problem that can be solved with a little extra attention and a little extra flexibility and a huge amount of effort to say, let's problem solve this as a group so that everybody feels seen and appreciated. Then comes our own job of letting go of the anxiety, guilt, and disappointment so that we are going to say certain things cannot be avoided. Certain things are absolute conflicts. We are going to make a system that is as equitable as possible. And then we are going to let go of anxiety, guilt, and disappointment. Okay, I wasn't able to be there for the winter concert. My niece was able to go instead. That was a great experience for my kid. It is then time for me to let go of my own anxiety, guilt, and disappointment that I kind of blew it and I wasn't there. And find best possible solutions whenever these things come up. If you have multiple children, I'm telling you from the future, now that I have a high schooler and middle schoolers, this is going to keep coming up and this is going to have to keep being an ongoing discussion in your house. Amy, I hope that helps. If you have a question for myself or the other Amy Wilson, you can record them on our website, which I think is really exciting. It's got a little microphone and you can go and record your question for us. Or you can always ask them on our Facebook group and you may hear your question answered on an upcoming episode. Thanks so much for listening and I'll talk to you next time.